earlier, Polly introduced us all to her adorable new member of the family, Bailey.
But as well as being ridiculously cute, I can tell you that puppies are a lot of hard work, and thankfully Dr Scott Miller is on hand to offer some advice. In fact, he's been my hotline for the last 4 weeks. Good to see you. So the first issue, I'm going to do mine and get it out of the way. My issue with her is, as you can see, she's pretty relaxed. Trying to get her to go out for a walk is a problem. And so I get her out the door and then she won't budge. I took this footage yesterday just to show you the kind of situation that I'm in.
Right now, Bailey, this is what we're going to be talking about on This Morning tomorrow. Come on. Come on. Bailey, come on. Come on, Bailey. Bailey, what's the matter? Why don't you want to walk? Bailey, come on. Come on. Should we go home? Should we go this way? You want to go home? Oh, you want to go home? Oh, you are a lazy girl. You are a lazy girl.
I mean, she fits in perfectly with our family, quite frankly. What do I do?
Right, well, first of all, can I say massive congratulations for joining a beautiful club of dog lovers up and down the country. Everyone will be looking at this dog going, yep, this is a perfect choice for you to add to the family. Yeah. As far as the behaviour that Bailey's showing there, she clearly just has a good homing instinct. It's not about her being lazy. Yeah. It's about the fact that she is a young puppy and she goes outside and she's overwhelmed by the sights and the sounds and the smells of the great outdoors. And at home, she's surrounded with love and family and food, and she has a great time. So she's a little reticent just to leave that very comfortable cocoon that you've built for her. So you just need to try and incentivise it more with treats and toys and make it really, really fun and energetic. But one thing I have done previously with puppies, that if they're really reticent to leave the house, is sometimes it's a good idea to actually drive them with you to the park and then walk back, because they have a bit more of a homing instinct towards going home. So that's an option, but, you know, that will improve it. This is just an issue of confidence, not an issue of laziness.
OK, fine. Lots of people, the hardest bit is the toilet training. She's all right.
How is it going?
It's OK, yeah, she's fine. Overnight's a little bit tricky. I normally wake up to a little present in the morning, which is fun.
Right, yeah.
But some people use puppy pads. I didn't do that because I was a bit worried she was going to get used to that. But what's a good thing to do? Well,
I think puppy pads are a good thing, particularly early doors when we are worried about their vaccination status. And we want to keep them protected from the viruses that are present in the outdoor environment. So a puppy pad is a great way for them to know where they can go inside the house. One of the key things of toilet training is not to tell them off. So the first thing about a dog that we need to know from kids, if your kid unfortunately pooed on a rug, you could say, "Oi, don't poo on a rug," and they go, "Oh yeah, I remember that." A dog doesn't think that way. They don't think in the past, they think in the present. So there's literally no point in telling them off. Even to the point where a lot of behaviourists say now, even if they're mid-flow, don't interrupt them, OK? Instead, what you want to do is try and work out that being a little dog, they have a little bladder, and so therefore they do need to go to the toilet a lot. So you just need to be available to take them for a walk. Kind of like, you know, remember when we all had young babies? And, you know you need to get up in the middle of the night, and you need to change their nappy regularly. So when it comes to toilet training, you just need to give them that access. So, you know, every hour or two, set an alarm, and then when that goes off, you take the dog outside, and then when they go in the right spot, you praise them.
Yeah. How do you get them to ask to go out?
Yeah, so that is a process that takes time, but what you need to do is to actually, rather than wait for them to toilet, look for the signs that they might go to the toilet. Circling, sniffing the ground, those sorts of things, those sorts of behaviours, is then you go, OK, should we go to the toilet? And then they start realising that, oh, OK, now I know when I need to go, and so you do as well. And then over time, that builds up to a situation where you see those behaviours, you get up naturally, and then they start to learn that, OK, I know the right place to go is not indoors.
And when I do it, they explode with praise, and it's time to go. OK, well, Sharon is on the line. Hi, Sharon.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. So you have just got a 5-month-old rescue puppy called Sky.
That's
Congratulations.
Right. Thank you. We got her last week, and we have been putting her in a crate at night. We have 2 other dogs, and we used the crate when they were from about 8 weeks when we got them. But this rescue Sky is 5 months, and she's just not taken to the crate at all. Crying, yelping, scratching, really determined to get out. We've put a blanket over, the room's really dark, and we've played calming music, but nothing seems to settle her, and we just don't know, should we keep trying to comfort her, or should we just leave her?
So I would say with crate training, it's very difficult because you've picked it up quite late in the trajectory of your puppy. Crate training is a really great way to go. It's not incarceration. It is giving them a den somewhere comfortable to be. So you feed them in there, you give them the treats in there, so they feel comfortable and they go into there. Your dog hasn't come from that setup, so she is seeing it as incarceration. So it may be that you jump the crate training situation altogether and maybe look to a room, or even if she's sleeping in the same room as you, that's absolutely fine. But what you want to try and do is set up again for success. So it's about tiring them out as much as possible. Puppies like to sleep, like Bailey's doing right now. And what you want to try and do is avoid them from sleeping too much during the day, so they sleep at night when you want to. But also, when you are crate training, do then actually get up to them and take them out actively to the toilet rather than waiting for them to cry, because that can sometimes reinforce that behaviour.
Even at night?
Even at night. So, yes, you must sort of get up, it's again like having a young furry baby. So every 2 hours, maybe even every 4 hours when they get to about 3 months of age, getting up actively, taking them to the toilet means that they're not waking you up with the crying that then you're reinforcing. But it is really challenging, and maybe in your case, if the crate isn't working too well, then either speak to a local behaviourist. There are many of them and they're absolutely wonderful, but you might consider jumping the crate training altogether.
OK,
All right.
I hope that
Thank you very
helps.
much, Sharon. Jane said, I look after my son's 4-month-old dog, Hope, whilst he's at work, and she's always nipping and biting me. I absolutely adore her, but it's getting a bit much. What should I do to stop her?
Yes, well, nipping is something that they learn to inhibit by being around mum and being around the other puppies. So when they bite, they make a little yelp, ow, ow, and then they sort of go, oh, stop. And they also stop from playing. So you need to do exactly the same thing, is vocalise that hurt and then stop playing the game. So they need to realise as soon as I contact teeth with skin, it's end of the fun and end of the game. If it's getting really excessive, which it sounds like it does in Jane's case, then maybe what you want to do is actually then exclude the dog, almost have a time-out zone. For like when a toddler gets overexcited, you time them out, so they go to their bedroom. The same thing with the dog. And using baby gates is a really great way to just mean that they can still see you, but they don't have physical access
And when
to
they're
you.
puppies and they're a bit chewy, like, is it a good idea not to let them? Because when they're this little, you sort of go, oh, they're a bit chewy, they're a bit this. And I see people kind of putting their hands and letting her do it. And I think, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
It's not a good thing,
Don't
no.
do it.
And particularly, I think probably guys could be to blame for sort of rough play and playing with hands. But actually, you've got to remember, you've got elderly people and you've got kids that want to play with the dog. So you do just need to say, whenever she bites, teeth touch skin, you make a little noise, you stop playing, and then you start again.
OK. That's very good. Thank you. Laura says, how do I get my 5-month-old Chihuahua to wear a harness? She loves going out for walks but hates a harness. Is a harness better than lead? It takes hours to get it on her. I've heard mixed reports about this. Some people say it makes them pull and some people say it doesn't make them pull.
Yeah, I'm not sure it makes them pull, but at the same time, I don't think you necessarily need a harness. I think it's a great thing for a puppy because they've got a handle on them now, so if there's something goes wrong, you can really extricate them from a situation quickly.
Like a handbag?
Well, a little bit. Yeah, at least you've got something to really hold them. And also because
heavy.
when they're pulling, you can sort of lean back with your hips and hold them from their chest rather than around the neck.
Yeah.
But if this is a little dog, so if your Chihuahua doesn't like the harness, well, then simply don't use it. That's absolutely fine.
What about those leads that go out a long way?
Yeah, we think more and more they're not a great idea, particularly because sometimes you can't hold them very well. They can get tied up in them. So instead, we suggest puppies long leads so they get comfortable to feeling freedom but aren't actually free.
OK, fine. Vicky says, we recently got a German Shepherd Husky puppy. We already have a Cavalier Charles Spaniel, and she doesn't seem to like the new puppy. She growls a lot and is taken to sitting in her room where she sleeps at night. How can I get them to get on? Yeah, so across the board with animals, I think you just need to respect the one that was there first. So in the case of Bluebell, giving them that space to get away from the other dog, and again, using baby gates. So over time, they will become used to each other, and certainly dogs are pack animals. They actually enjoy company. Cats, Bluebell might forever sort of vaguely tolerate Bailey. I can't promise any much love, but in the case of the dogs, just making sure that both dogs have a lot of exercise, you play with them separately, you tire out all that youthful exuberance in the puppy, and only when they're calm and relaxed do you bring them together. And
but
it might just take time.
Just take time.
Patience,
Don't push relationships, never a good idea.
Never a good idea. Thank you. I'll call you tonight.
I'm sure you will, yes.